Okay, so today we're going to talk about our spelling words. Now, I gave you these spelling words last week on Friday, so hopefully you've already been studying them, but I want to make sure that you understand what they mean before we get into this too far. So, let's go through these words together. As you can see, this is here on Moodle for you at the top of your spelling section, right under where it says announcements. It says spelling words for week 8. They're also in your spelling book, so you could go to your Vital Source bookshelf and open up your spelling book, and they're right there as well. Remember that we're going to take the spelling test each Thursday, just like it tells you here, so that you have extra time to study throughout the week. All right, so our first word is scald. Scald is like another word for burn, or especially like if you burnt milk, you would say you scald the milk, scalded the milk. Okay, that's scald. Let me give you an example sentence of the word scald. Let's see here. Oh, where did it go? Yep, the recipe directions said to scald the milk and then let it cool. I don't know what kind of recipe wants you to scald the milk and then let it cool, but that's what the word is. Ought. Ought is like when you say you ought to do this or you ought to do that. It's like giving someone a suggestion. So the sentence that they give you as an example is one ought to put fresh cut flowers in water. So it's something that you should do. It's giving someone a suggestion. Another good sentence might be, you ought to brush your teeth before you go to bed. Now, ought is not a word that we use very often in English, but it is a word in English. So there you go. Foster. Now, foster has a couple different meanings, but it's usually like adopt, but not quite as permanent. Usually you take care of someone or something for a certain amount of time. So the example sentence says, a mother cat will foster her new kittens. So she'll take care of them for a given amount of time. Lots of times we say that the parents have decided to be foster parents. That means that they decided to take kids into their house and look after them until the kid is adopted. All right. Next word, sought. Sought is like to look for. All right. So if we give you the example sentence for sought, it says Jason sought his neighbor's help to find his lost puppy. So he looked for help to find his lost puppy. You could also say he sought for his lost puppy, but that sounds a little weird. We wouldn't usually say that, but you would say he sought his neighbor's help. Coffee. Hopefully you all know what coffee is. It's that drink that I need every morning. Saucer. Saucer is what you set your cup on when you're having tea. It's like a little tiny plate with usually a little indent where the teacup sits. That's the saucer. It holds the teacup. Flawed. That's usually like an error, a mistake. Might say that your paper was flawed if it had bad spelling, or you might say her face was flawed because it had a scar across her cheek, something like that. So there's a mistake, there's something wrong. The sample sentence here says the sale rack was filled with flawed items. That would imply that all of the things that are on the sales rack have something wrong with them. All right. Naughty. Naughty is another word for bad, and we usually use it with little kids. Like the little girl was so naughty when she knocked her mother's vase off of the table with her ball after being told not to throw the ball in the house. Or the little boy was so naughty when he pulled his sister's hair. Okay, that would be naughty. And maybe I might tell my daughter, don't be naughty, right? So it's like, don't be bad. All right, let's go on. Recalled. Recalled is to remember something. Or sometimes we say an item has been recalled if there's a flaw in it. So we might use this word flawed and say the car engines were flawed. So Toyota recalled that that type of car. All right. So maybe they recalled the F-150s because the engine was flawed. Okay. Or you might say that the old lady recalled the time when she used to dance ballet. Okay, so it's either to look back and remember something or it's to call back something because there's a flaw in it. Cautious, that's to do something with caution, right? To do something carefully. The little kitten took cautious first steps because it was nervous. Or she cautiously rounded the corner, not knowing what was on the other side. Okay, so it's to do something with care. Are you cautious when you ride your bicycle? Do you take care not to fall off or to go in the street? Okay, it's to be careful. Alternate. Usually we say, do you have an alternate plan? So maybe you were planning on going this way to get to work, but now there's lots of traffic. You have to take an alternate route? Or maybe there you are the alternate. So maybe you're in a play and you are the backup person if someone gets sick. So you're the alternate. You're the person that's going to fill in. Chalkboard. Chalkboard is like a whiteboard, except that it's usually green or black and you write on it with chalk. All right. Pistol. Pistol. In this sense, the bee landed on the pistil with its feet. Pistil is a part of a plant, and so are a lot of these words here. So if you want to get a more specific idea of what a pistil is, you could Google it and see the pistil of a flower. All right. Sepals. Sepals. The flower bud opened and the sepals unfurled. Okay, so it's another part of the inner parts of a flower. Foliage. The foliage in the flower garden is very colorful. Foliage is like the leaves and the plants in the garden. Yeah, foliage. We might say that the foliage in the eastern part of the United States is beautiful this time of year because all of the leaves are changing color. The sample sentence here is the foliage in the flower garden is very colorful. All right. Botanist. A botanist discovered many uses for the peanut plant. A botanist is a type of scientist that works specifically with plants. All right. Pollinate. Pollinate is what a bee does to the flowers. So in our sample sentence, it does not talk about a bee, but it talks about a hummingbird. It says a hummingbird can pollinate a flower. And we also talk about bees who can pollinate a flower. Okay, that's when they move things from flower to flower, and that helps the flower bloom as they take the nectar out of there. Fragrance. Fragrance is what you smell, usually in relation to pretty things like the fragrance of sweet perfume or the fragrance of the freshly cut flowers. All right, so it's usually a pleasing smell. We would not normally use fragrance to describe something that smells bad. You could, but we don't usually. Then we usually would use a different word like the stench, right? The stench would be the opposite of the fragrance. Fragrance implies that it's a pretty smell. Okay, formal. Formal is the opposite of relaxed. So we might say you need to dress in formal wear. That would mean you need to wear a tux and a really nice dress to a wedding. Or this is a formal occasion, which means it's serious and it's very elegant. Or maybe you need to write a formal letter, and that would imply that you need to use good grammar and you need to use a specific format and address a person a certain way. Inform, that's to tell someone something. Sorry. Mr. Smith will inform Mrs. Smith that he will be late for dinner. Or maybe you need to inform your teacher that you're going to miss class. Okay? It's to give a piece of information. Revival. Revival we use when we're talking a lot about things like Christianity, we might say there was a revival in the church and a lot of people came to know Christ. All right. So a revival is like a rebirth or a lot of people coming to know who God is and believe in Him. All right. And revive. Let me see the sentence that they give you for that one. Let's see. Revive. The doctors were able to revive the victims of the accident. For example, the other day I saw a man who had fallen off his motorcycle and he was laying on the road. So people were doing what they could to revive him, to bring him back to good health, to bring him back to life, whatever happened. All right, to revive, to bring back to life. And your challenge words are caught, which means like that you got something, like maybe you caught a cold, or maybe you caught a fish, or you caught a thief. Okay, it's to catch something. Brought, or sorry, bought. That means that you purchased something. Okay, you went to the store and you bought your groceries, or you bought your mom a present for Christmas. Okay, it's to purchase something. All right, now that you know what all of your spelling words are, my light just fell down. Hang on. There we go. All right, now that you know what all your spelling words are and what they mean, this light keeps falling down. Sorry, guys. All right, now what you're going to do this week is you're going to go into your Vital Source bookshelf. You're going to look at the chapter 8, where it says lesson 8, word analysis, and you're going to start here and you're going to do all of the pages for lesson 8, and you have all the way to Friday to get them all done. So there's this part up here, which is just 1 through 19. Then there's your words. You don't have to do anything with those. And then you're going to go down here to vocabulary and you're going to do that worksheet. And there's your words again, but this time written kind of in italics. And then you're going to do the word study strategies. And there's your words again. And then there's this writing. And that's it. Now, this writing one is the one I want to tell you about, because you're going to do all of your assignments and then you're going to turn them in. Oh, there's the pistol and the salmon. So you can see right here, and the sepals down below. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to read the encyclopedia article about flowering plants, and then you're going to write a content word to complete each sentence. So to find your content words, all you need to do is scroll up, and then you'll see right here, here's your content words. Okay, obviously they're ones about flowers because that's what you're reading about, flowering plants. And you're going to pick which word needs to go in each space. Now, you do not need to write this whole thing out, but you do need to put numbers 1 through 7 and then tell me which word goes in which space. And if you see up here, each one has a number in it. So, for example, it says flowers are found all over the world, from the hottest deserts to the cold Arctic tundra. Each type of landscape is graced by the presence of colorful, and then you're going to pick a word. So you can either go down to your content words or up, and you're going to pick which word goes best there, and then on line 1, you'll write that word. Now you can either print out the pages or you can do it in your spelling notebook and then take a picture. But you just need to write the number here and then tell me what the word is that matches that spot. Okay, you do not need to write out this whole paragraph unless you want to. That's up to you. All right, so you need to do all of those pages this week by Friday, but you can work on them at your own pace. We will have our test on Thursday, so it makes sense for you to do them by Thursday. I can give you extra day just in case you don't get one of them done. All right, so be working on all of those, and then you're going to come back to Moodle, and then you're going to turn all of those in on today's assignment. So if you scroll down to today's assignment, here it is. Let's see, November 3rd through 6th. There's the spelling list that I already gave you. Then November 9th, Monday, November 9th. On Friday, you're going to come back in and you're going to turn in all of those assignments right there. Now, you can turn them in early if you get them done early, but you need to turn them in by Friday, okay? So that's spelling for this week for you to work on and practice because we will have our spelling test on Thursday. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you in class and I hope that you have an awesome day. Bye.